Still on the run, police fail to catch South Africa's most wanted criminal and end up shooting a priest by mistake. A notorious paramilitary killer dramatically stalls talks on the future of Northern Ireland. And is Jake White's job on the line if the Boks go down to England again? This is E-News Prime Time. A very good evening. It's been almost a week and still South Africa's most wanted criminal is on the run. Serial rapist Ananias Mate escaped from the maximum security prison C-Max in Pretoria last weekend. Since then, police have arrested a man in Mpumalanga and shot and wounded a pastor in the Northwest Province. But in both instances, it turned out to be a case of mistaken identity.
Have you seen this man? Ananias Mate escaped from Pretoria's C-Max prison last weekend. It's suspected he had help from guards at the facility. How else would he get past the searchlights, warders, high walls and electric fence? The former Mozambican soldier is wanted on charges of attempted murder, rape, robbery and hijacking. Since his disappearance, reports of people spotting him have come in from around the country, including the Northwest Province. Here, plainclothes officers confronted a man they thought was Mate, but he ran away, apparently thinking they want to mug him. A police statement reads, "When police apprehended the suspect, he ran away. The task team fired a warning shot and the escapee was arrested. It was discovered that he sustained a bullet wound to the leg." But it turns out the suspect was actually a pastor returning from a shopping trip. He is now recovering in this hospital while the Independent Complaints Directorate investigates just how a warning shot ended up hitting the pastor in the leg. The National Police Commissioner's office declined to comment on the shooting. Belinda Moses, E-News, Odi, Northwest Province.
The alleged Moffat Park serial killer has appeared briefly in the Johannesburg Magistrates Court for the second time. Richmond Makwekwe wasn't asked to plead and the case was postponed for further investigation. Now, Makwekwe has been charged with 5 murders and 3 rapes. 5 badly decomposed bodies have been found in Moffat Park, south of Johannesburg, since last December. And police say Makwekwe has been positively linked to all 5 murders. He'll be back in court on the 5th of December. The number of cases of extreme drug-resistant tuberculosis in South Africa has risen to over 300. The Health Department has confirmed that 303 people have been treated for the deadly strain. At least 52 have died.
The strain is referred to as XDR-TB and first surfaced in KwaZulu-Natal earlier this year. At first, the Health Department said it had the outbreak under control, but almost overnight, 53 people had been diagnosed with the strain, 52 of them later died. More cases then surfaced in Gauteng and the Eastern Cape. The World Health Organization was then brought in. To date, 303 cases have been reported nationwide, and most of them are in KwaZulu-Natal. The rest are scattered throughout the Eastern and Northern Cape, the Northwest, Gauteng, the Free State and Limpopo. The only 2 provinces yet to report a case of XDR-TB are Mpumalanga and the Western Cape. The Health Department's TB head, Dr. Lindiwe Mvusi, cannot say just how many people have been killed by the strain, but says most of those diagnosed are still being treated in hospital.
Some independent tow truck operators claim they're being squeezed out of business. They're accusing their industry's association of colluding with insurance companies. But the association says there's simply not enough work to go around.
These independent tow truckers have had enough. They say they're being prevented from doing their work and it's hitting them hard in their pockets. They're blaming this man, Andre van der Merwe, the chairperson of the South African Towing and Recovery Association. They say that even if they're the first at the scene of an accident, they're not allowed to tow the wrecks away because they're not registered with the association. They allege he's cut a deal with large insurance companies so that they only work with SETRA registered tow truckers. These men say all they want is a chance to compete fairly for business. But many feel as long as big associations continue to monopolize the industry, theirs is a lost cause.
Enough is enough. I'm not a criminal and I don't want to become one either. But the attitude of these people is trying to tell me that I should become one.
Black or white sector do not support you. That is why these people are all here, because they are struggling, they get to accident scenes, they cannot pick up the vehicle.
But Van der Merwe denies there's been any unfair wheeling and dealing. He says all he's tried to do is bring formality to the sector.
One has to establish the realities of the fact, and that is that it is an overtraded market and there are only so many opportunities available. The more there are competing for those opportunities, the more limited those opportunities will become.
Insurance companies also deny any wrongdoing. They say it's just more practical to do business with a single association like SETRA than to deal with a whole lot of individuals. Lukhanya Khalata, E-News, Cape Town.
Are you still trying to decide on Christmas gifts? Well, the SPCA has some definite ideas for you, and it's warning what not to give as a present.
Cute and cuddly. It might seem the ideal gift, but the SPCA says think twice before putting a pet in someone's Christmas stocking. Every year, dozens of these well-meant gifts either end up abandoned or dumped at shelters, simply because people don't know what to do with them or no longer want them.
It's not a good idea, not fair to the animal, and not fair to the person receiving the animal. There are very, very solid welfare grounds for that, because, you know, it's even much more than a financial commitment. An animal is for life. The novelty does wear off in many cases, and SPCA's experience in January, what happens when people are tired of the animals, they come in, frankly, as unwanted gifts.
Many of these abandoned animals end up being euthanized. The SPCA warns that anyone found guilty of abandoning pets, even those given as gifts, is liable for prosecution. The SPCA says pets are for life and not novelties for a season. So if you are thinking of giving a puppy, kitten or any other animal as a present this Christmas, you could do well to remember this. Vanessa Govender, E-News, Durban.
Let's take a quick look now at the markets. On the other side of the break, all your international news, including the poisoned Russian spy dies in a London hospital, but not before writing a letter blaming the Kremlin for his death.
Nuclear bomb.